mow the lawn, there's too many snakes. That's the same that got E. What, you ain't never seen it on a horse? You ain't seen Chief keep new Porsche? Nah, you ain't seen Jet. Better not forget that. Spit it like I chain smoke new Porsche.
I know about your music. I understand a lot about you. But for those who are watching, are listening to this, people used to go into HMV and there used to be the little description by the CD of an artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you was to write that on Mick Jenkins, what would you write about Mick Jenkins?
Mick Jenkins is a God-fearing young man from the south side of Chicago. He started making music in 2011 for his own entertainment as well as his friends. In 2013, following some life-changing crises and experiences with a new outlook on the world, he dropped his version of his first mixtape, Trees and Truths, to critical acclaim. And has since progressed his mind, his manhood, and his music. Has dropped The Waters in 2014, which gained him, along with his insightful and politically commenting, socially aware video, Martyrs. He's gained national acclaim in the U.S. after a successful tour with Method Man and Redman in December of 2014, and then his own with label mate Kirk Knight out of the Pro Era crew in February. He is now in Europe on his 5th tour with The Mind, who's also a frequent collaborator. Introducing Mick Jenkins. Yeah, that's how I do it. Something
Fantastic
like
synopsis, man. Straight.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think with Trees and Truths, by my own admission, I think it was a lot darker than your latter material.
I agree.
Now, The Waters, 2014, I feel like you could have took this CD and gave it to a young person, maybe with a radio edit. There's a few explicits on there. But the whole message, you know, you was really campaigning for the waters.
Yes.
You know what I mean? A lot of people, water more important than the gold. You know what I mean? I feel like it was admirable because there's not a lot of MCs that are really going to do that. Like, why did you decide to take it upon yourself to really campaign the importance of the water?
Well, at its simplest, the water is synonymous with truth, right? And I think with the waters, that's what I did. I explained the idea that there is this water, this truth that you absolutely need that you're not getting, and that's what it is. It's the truth is as important as water. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So whenever I'm speaking about water, I'm actually speaking about truth. And when I say truth, I mean the truth about, you know, basic ideas of the world: success, happiness, you know, family, beauty, like what these things are, how to acquire these things. Like what we're being told is just BS, you know, and I don't know if it's the same over here as far as like stereotypes go, but like in America, success is, you know, house, white picket fence, Beamer, wife and 2 kids, boy and a girl. You know what I'm saying? You're successful. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the stigma, and it's just like, but we know people who are living like that, who aren't happy, you know what I'm saying, who aren't doing what they love to do, who aren't getting fulfillment out of life. Is that successful? You know, and it's just changing those ideals. The truth of that matter is the truth that I'm speaking about when I'm talking about the water. And it is just as important as water is, you know. So there's the duality of the metaphor, you know, of truth, and then water in general. People don't drink enough water. I wasn't drinking enough water. I didn't actually start drinking more water till I was like 7 songs into the tape, and I was realizing, like, man, maybe I should start doing this. You know?
That's what I was actually going to ask you. Like, in between the mass consumption of ginger ale, do you manage to drink a lot of water?
No, yeah, I drink a ton of water now. You know what I'm saying? And actually, people have even tweeted this to me, but you don't realize how much you're going to start using the bathroom because you drinking water
Straight
like
up.
all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, and on the very literal sense, it's pretty good for you. So it's a healthy message. I can pull a lot of metaphors from it. You know what I'm saying? Waves, rain, tears, just anything that has to do with water. There's something profound that can be said about it. And so it's I've been blessed to be able to use it in that way with waters and waves, and it's even going to incorporate itself into THC.
Now, in Chicago as well, many people might know there's a big scene which is called drill music.
Yes.
Now, you're definitely not part of the drill music scene.
No, I wouldn't say that I'm a part of the drill music scene. I don't have a problem with the drill music scene. I don't have a problem with any music. You know what I'm saying? People would think what I'm saying? I was talking to somebody who was surprised that I was like listening to Future. And it's just like, well, I don't have a problem with listening to the music. I think there's just it's very different when people worship the music. And like allow it to like shape and mold who they are and the decisions that they make throughout the day, especially when these are usually negative things. That's what is the problem. And that is not credited to the fault of the artist at all. You know what I'm saying? That's just where people's minds are. I could listen to Future, I could listen to Chief Keef, you know what I'm saying, all day. Is it going to make me choose a violent reaction to a problem or a more reasonable one? No, you know what I'm saying? And that's my mind. That's not the artist. That's not the music.
The Waves is out now.
Out now. You can get it for free, I'm sure, but it's also on iTunes for $5.99 for a short time.
So, you know, when people listen to, you know, your 3 official projects, you know, you got Trees and Truths, you got The Waters and The Waves. How would you say you've grown over those projects?
Well, and that's what I do. I try to grow. I look at each situation critically before I start the next. So Trees and Truths, like I said, was right after a big turning and learning point for me. But when I assessed it before I started The Waters, Trees and Truths, the production was all over the place. There was trap, there was boom bap, there was some soulful sounds. It wasn't a cohesive project. So when I approached The Waters, that was the first thing in my mind, making sure that there was a cohesive sound, that there was continuity. And I think we achieved that. With Trees and Truths, I couldn't perform all of the music. I didn't like the way that the atmosphere was in the room when I was playing a lot of songs on Trees and Truths. So I made sure that there were songs that had bounce, like Martyrs and Jerome and THC. And when I went from Waters to Waves, I tried to focus on the things that we didn't focus on. You know, there wasn't as much liveliness in the music. So the musicality came. That's how we got those live drums on Slumber. That's why we got more up-tempo beats like 40 Below and Your Love and even P's and Q's. You know, there's more of a step to it because that's what Waters lacked. Not that any is better than the other, but you just want to experiment. You know, you're never going to get an artist's whole sound from one project. And there's things that I'm learning and still figuring out. I even started singing more on Waves just to create feels and vibes.
How hard was that, you know, adapting to, you know, because on Your Love, you're hooked up with Kaytranada. There's a whole different vibe than what people might expect from you. And you're definitely singing. The videos, a different type of swag as well. How hard was that adaptation for you?
It's not that hard, man. I mean, people don't know how much of a clown I really am. You know, the video was very fun for us and very much within the element of the jokes we tell and things that we do. As a group, you know, and the video was Slime, my DJ, and Zig the Mind. Your Love, Kaytra sent me the beat, and I was inspired by a real life situation. That's a real woman that I'm talking about. Have a Dream in New Orleans, Fall in Love in Chicago is the Lupe verse, but she's actually in school in New Orleans, and I'm in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? It's very much coming from a real place.
Is she still in your life?
Absolutely. That's my girl. That's my love. It was very easy. It was natural to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't something that was purposeful. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make a record like this. It just kind of happened, and that's usually how the music goes, and that's what Waves is. You know, Slumber came from a place of feeling like people know all the words and are very much still asleep. You understand what I'm saying? Piano was just being in the room with them peoples, and that's how we were creating. I would come in, yo, Lon, what you feeling? He'll play something on the piano. Tuesday come back, he'll play another riff on the piano. You know, it's coming from very real places, so it's very easy for me to make the music. I just have to dedicate the time to it.
Looking very forward to the healing component.
It's my baby, man. It's a debut album, and I don't take that title very lightly. You know, I've been working on it diligently. I think with The Waters, like I said, I introduced the idea that there is this truth, this water that you need, that you've been missing, and with the healing component, I intend to tell exactly what that is and further explain that.
5'3" with the crown royal skin tone. Plus she brought her own water, man, she bent on. Put her joint, she hit me with a couple pearls of wisdom. Now it's on, had me open like a flip phone.